Now, Augusto Montiel is a friend of mine. He is a former Venezuelan ambassador, and he is an analyst of the highest rank. And so who better to preview the upcoming elections in Venezuela than he? Excellency Augusto Montiel, welcome back to the mother of all talk shows. It's been some time since we saw each other. Tell us when the elections are, if you will, and who the runners and riders are. Whatever happened to Juan Guaido? Isn't he supposed to be the president, or has he been retired by the empire?
Hello to everybody here on the mother of all talk shows. It's a real pleasure and an honor to be talking to you, George Galloway, to your team, your friends, and to everybody around the world who watches and who inspires every week their political landscape with the input that both mother of all talk shows impresses everybody around the world. Thank you very much for your connection, for your phone call. And well, I also have to tell you that we wish you excellent results in your coming general election in the UK. We know, of course, that you're running as the leader of the Workers' Party to become a very possible Prime Minister at the United Kingdom, and most important of all, that a good number of members of Parliament from the Workers' Union and independent parties and so on can become members of that worldwide parliament of importance. Venezuela. On the 28th of July, President Maduro will run again as a candidate to continue the presidency of the Bolivarian Revolution. On the 28th of July, 13 candidates from opposition plus President Maduro will be running. 12 candidates from opposition from right-wing parties and President Maduro will be running to become next president of Venezuela for the next 6 years. On the 28th of July, we are going to experience once again a very profound, highly democratic, transparent, and above all, watched and inspected election. The world around will be there. Many international organizations are going to be as guests from the Venezuelan Electoral Council to observe and to give accounts on our, according to President Jimmy Carter, as he described our electoral process, the most reliable, transparent, and effective electoral process in the world. That can be checked in the internet. Just check, try in any machine, President Carter, Venezuelan electoral system. And on the 28th of July, George, we are most proud to say that in spite of the terrible criminal sanctions, economic, financial, commercial sanctions that Venezuela is going through for the last, or has been going through for the last 8 years, President Maduro, the Bolivarian government, the people of Venezuela, what we call the civic military union, have made it possible for national production, for the economy, and most of all, political consciousness has made it possible to keep a peaceful scenario that has made it possible for us to achieve and reach this moment in under peaceful conditions, although the South Command of the United States is just 200 miles from our coasts on the eastern part of Venezuela with Guyana, and in the northern part of Venezuela in the Caribbean Sea, menacing and threatening permanently the life, the social cohesion, the military peace that we in Venezuela enjoy. And certainly, as you asked, that monstrous and impressive political situation that the United States of America and the European Union has put Venezuela in the last 15 years has made it possible now for us to be prepared for anything. We're running on a democratic platform, as our Bolivarian constitution in Venezuela states, but the Venezuelan public, the Venezuelan population, under a lot of stress, has put what the president of Venezuela, the illegal, fictional president of Venezuela, that the United States government under Trump and then under President Joe Biden imposed on us, plus the European Union, a puppet, a political puppet that disappeared completely. He's now living in Miami, protected by the United States government after they stole 5 of our international corporations, like Citgo, which is one of the largest corporations of oil refineries and oil stations in the United States. More than 5,000 oil stations in the United States, plus companies in other regions in the United States and in protected countries in the region, protected countries by the United States. 5 large corporations were stolen by this North American puppet imposed on us as president. Of course, nobody here paid any attention to that, but they used him to steal our property, to steal national budget, to put, for example, 1,200 tons of gold that are in the British bank, in the English bank reserves, and the British government has decided not to give it back to us. And that gold has been in reserve there, and we have posed legal action, and that case hasn't been solved. So like 1,200 tons of gold in England that don't want to be given back to us, to the legitimate owners of that gold, plus thousands and millions of dollars of Venezuelan money belonging to the Venezuelan population that are in multinational banks, American banks, European banks, and all that money Venezuelan people cannot touch. So we went through the most terrible pandemic, like everybody else around the world, without access to thousands of millions that have been seized from our economic
I could have advised you not to deposit your country's wealth in the Bank of England, but I suspect that you already knew that. Finally, and I'm grateful for your time, Ambassador, President Hugo Chavez's shoes were big shoes to fill. Has President Maduro successfully filled them?
Definitely, most definitely. President Maduro, as President Chavez called him, his son has now been in the presidency of the Republic for the last 11 years. He came to the presidency in 2013, and after the tremendously sad death of President Chavez by a very strange cancer, and deep research is being made to find out exactly how he got that type of very aggressive and strange cancer. And there are already international scientific investigations reaching the conclusion that President Chavez was murdered. But anyway, President Maduro has been constitutionally, he won the election in 2013, and then again the elections in 2018, and 6 years later, in 2024, we have the next presidential election. In our constitution, all elected bodies, public election bodies, can be elected for as long as the public demands and the public requires it. Like, for example, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, and in many European countries. So President Maduro has been able to stand, to lead with a firm hand the Venezuelan population for 11 years in the most, or under the most criminal international conditions by the United States as the hegemonic power on this part of the world, and by the European Union on that part of the world where you are now. Economic sanctions, financial blockade, commercial blockade. Can you imagine this, George? For example, and to all of your viewers.
I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Please convey to him, Ambassador, the best wishes of everyone at the mother of all talk shows, and we hope to talk to you again after another great victory. Thanks for joining us on the mother of all talk shows. That was Augusto Montiel, former Venezuelan ambassador to India and political analyst. We'll keep the Venezuelan elections under close watch.